Where you'll be spending most of your time within Elevate is on the Projects Plus Reports dashboard, where you'll be able to set up your clients with links to take the assessments. When you first go here, this is the screen that you'll see. So you'll see the links to see how Elevate works and those concise FAQ documents for creating a project, purchasing inventory, and downloading reports. And there'll be a link to create your first project. A screen will open where you're going to name your project. And you can add a project description. Keep in mind the project name is visible to your respondents. You can add a project description if you would like that will give you more detail as your own personal reference. This is something that the clients will not see. You'll also then need to choose what kind of project you want to create. There's an option for invitation only, which means you're going to only allow certain individuals to access the link. If somebody is not invited and they receive the link somehow, maybe somebody shares it with them, they won't be able to access the site. So it's a good way to protect your link to make sure that only the people that you want to take the assessment have access to take the assessment. The other option would be a general access project, which is open to anyone. So we'll go through that one first. There's fewer steps for that one. So general access will allow you to create a link that anyone can access. You can also set expiration dates for your projects. This is optional, however, so you don't have to put something in there. So I'll click Create for general access project. And there's only a few steps for this one. So the first step will be to select the reports that you want to add to your project. You'll see two different tabs within the Add Reports section. One for your reports, so it's going to look at what you have previously ordered on Elevate, and that will be what is displayed here. Or you can also go to All Reports. You can filter by report family. You can also filter by language. So if you want a report to be translated, then you can choose another language as well to filter by and see what's available. Keep in mind that when you use translated reports, you would need to purchase the translation as well as the English report, should you want both. So each translation is considered a unique report. So we'll just add in this one. So you'll see when I add a report, it tells me which assessment is going to be assigned. If I were to add a step 1 report for the MBTI, it's going to default to what was in my account selections, which we went through earlier. If I want to switch it within the project, I can do that here. So I can choose the global step 1, and I can say save this for future projects, or I can just leave it unchecked so that next time I create a project, it'll default again to the step 2. So there it shows me my clients will be taking the MBTI Global Step 1 assessment to get this report. The next option will be to set options for this general access project. So I can allow, after verifying my respondents' type, so after having a verification consulting session with them, I can allow them to download their own reports after I verify their type. They won't be able to see their reports until after I do that step within Elevate. Or I can just say, no, I'll provide the reports to the client myself. It is set to notify me as my clients complete their assessments. I could add in an alternate email address if I prefer, or I can just say, no, I don't need an email. I can customize my report covers as well. So if I want them to see my name on the report, if I want them to see my organization name as well, I can put that in here. And I can also save this for future projects. And then I can schedule automated assessment reminders. With general access projects, this will only send a reminder email to clients who've started the assessment but not yet completed it yet. So this is a much handier tool with invitation-only projects, and I'll get back to that. And then the last bit is to enable a demographic survey. This is defaulted to yes, and what it is just some additional questions that don't appear anywhere on the site. It's not anything that you as the administrator will have access to, and it doesn't appear in the client's reports. It's only used by the Myers-Briggs Company Global Research Team for future research projects, and everything's encrypted and protected, so there's nothing that will be personally disclosed about your clients. So if you're comfortable leaving that enabled, it's really helpful for our research and development. If you do have clients that are not happy answering additional questions, just say no. Do keep in mind as well that these are optional questions, so even if you have it enabled, when your clients go to take the assessment, they can choose to skip over that. When you've got all of your settings set up, you can click next and then to generate the link. And this will lock in all of your selections as far as the reports and assessments. You can also go back to manage the project and add in support materials. If you do want to include any PDF booklets, you can add that under the manage project link. You'd go to add reports and support materials, and you can add a support material into the project that your clients will be able to download. So save that change. It will lock that in once I do save it. And now as my clients complete the assessment, I'll be able to send them the support material. So that is setting up a general access project, and we'll review creating an invitation-only project as well. So I'm going to go back to projects, and I'll click to create a project. And let's call this Authors 2, and we'll do invitation only. So with this one, there'll be a few additional steps, but as mentioned earlier, there will be more security with an invitation-only project. You can add in individual respondents. You can also upload from a CSV file. So if you have a long list of people, you don't need to enter them one by one. You do have the option to select a type. So if there's some folks that you do know their type, you can add it in. I don't know that this is Catherine Briggs's type, but I'm just going to add that in as an example. So you can put them in there with their type already, their verified type already loaded, or you can leave that blank. And just add them in without their verified type. Okay, once you have all of your clients added, and maybe you know some of their types but not others, you'll click next. And then you'll add reports. So this will look similar to the general access project. So I'll add the personal impact report. And again, you'll see the assessment default is step 2. And I can choose to use step 1 instead. I'll leave it as that. I do want to note, when you enter in somebody's verified type, they won't be prompted to take a step 1 assessment. However, since I have the step 2 as my default assessment, everybody in this project, even those that have their type entered, will get an invitation to take the assessment. So that will prompt them with an invitation. The next step will be to set options. So again, you have the option to this is actually a new option for invitation only. You have the option to auto-generate reports. So with this option, if you do want reports automatically generated and emailed to you, you will need to purchase them prior to your clients taking the assessment. If they do happen to access the assessment before you have enough reports in your inventory, it's not going to cause them any trouble, but you'll get an email just saying, we can't send you the report because you need to purchase more. So you won't have the report attached in those instances. Just make sure you pre-purchase the reports if you do want the auto-generate option enabled. You will have the option again to give respondents access to the reports after they complete the assessment and you have verified their type in the system. So for the 2 that I have enabled, they would be able to, or that I have entered their verified type, they would be able to generate their reports or download their reports, assuming you have reports in your inventory. You can set the notifications for the assessment completion. This would be functioning if you don't have auto-generate on. So if I have auto-generate enabled, I won't get 2 emails saying they've completed it and then a second one with the report. It'll just send the report, assuming I have reports in my inventory. Again, you can customize the report covers and it will save previous entries here. I can schedule an automated assessment reminder. This is really handy in an invitation-only project because you can say when you want it sent, and it will go to everybody that you've pre-entered into the project who has not yet completed their assessment on the date that you've set it up to send. So it's a lot more useful in an invitation-only project versus general access, where if somebody hasn't even started the assessment on this date, Elevate's not going to know who they are. It's not going to send any email because you haven't pre-entered them into the system. So this is really helpful with an invitation-only project. And then the final one, of course, is the demographic survey, which is only used for our research purposes and no other reason. So I would recommend just leaving that on. It really helps out our research team. And then just click next. Now with invitation-only projects, your clients will receive an email invitation straight out of Elevate as soon as you complete the setup process. So you can schedule it to send at a later date if you'd like. So in this case, I could set it to send tomorrow, and you can choose the time and the time zone that you want it sent. I think Australian Eastern Standard Time. And schedule, so this will go out at a later time. Or I can choose to send the project right in, or send that email invitation right in that moment. With the general access project, to jump back to that, you would need to copy the link to send to your clients manually. So Elevate's not going to prompt any email straight to your clients. You'll need to send that link to your clients. So back on the project dashboard, this is my general access link. I can see that here. If I click on the name of the project and then go to View Summary, I'll be able to copy the hyperlink and paste it into my own email to my client group. And again, with the invitation-only projects, Elevate will send that email for you. You can also copy the link for those projects and send it to your clients directly as well. So if they say they haven't received an email from you to complete the assessment, you can go in and provide them with that link. So you can copy the link out of the project. This one's not showing me the view summary link because it's still a scheduled project. So if I change it to send now, it will send the email invitation to my clients. I can go to the project, click on View Summary, and copy the link out of the invitation-only project as well. So either way, you can always access the link to send to your clients directly. As with the general access project, with an invitation-only project, you can also add support materials or other reports in. You can edit options at any time. So these were the final step of the project creation process. You can also manage respondents and download reports from either project. So looking at the invitation-only project, since I had pre-entered some authors in here, I can download the reports for the ones whose type I've entered, or I can add other respondents as well. And I can do that through entering an individual person or uploading a CSV file. And there are samples of the CSV file if you're unsure what that should look like. On the Projects and Reports dashboard, you'll see open projects that are active. You'll also see tabs for scheduled projects, so things that are scheduled to go out on a future date. Drafts, so if you start creating a project and then save to finish at a later time. Closed projects are those that have an expiration date that has passed. And then an archive is just an extra folder if you want to put one of your projects in the archive. It'll still keep it active, so if there's somebody that has yet to complete the assessment, they can still access the link. The only time that your respondents will no longer be able to access the links that you've sent them is if the expiration has passed. Expiration dates, again, are optional, so you don't have to put an expiration date on your project, but if you do want to block any future participants from accessing a link, then I would recommend putting in an expiration.